Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gremlin's Paradise. My name is Gizmo, and today we're going to talk about Kerbal Space Program. And we're not going to talk about going to the moon today, we're going to talk about completely something different. Because every time when you play the game and you install too many mods, what is the problem you're facing? The problem is that your game crashes around 2,800 megabytes of your RAM, and if you go higher than that, your game crashes while being out of memory. This is annoying because if you, like me, really like to use the real solar system, the community tech tree with the SETI contracts and the SETI tech tree, and for example the the KW rocketry, and some other mods like the endurance mod and yeah, launch countdown, the real plume, the real texture replace, go on like that. You just get into a problem that every time your game runs out of memory, shuts down, and you have to start it up again, wait 5 minutes before you can play, and then finally come to a point when you load your aircraft, you crash again. Yeah, that is not really the most fun game I played. Crashing. So how can you prevent crashing? Well, as you can see here on the top, you see KSP32 and KSP64. Now a lot of you guys will think like, wait, first of all, this icon is different because this is a Unity icon and not KSP. And second of all, why are servers 64? Well, because it's 64-bit. And I can let you see that it's only have the minus pop-up window, so you do not have that X and minus and things like that at the top, so you do not have the borders. And this does, well, it does do fairly a little bit on your RAM, but not that much. Now, I saw some videos where people were going through their network, going to their adapters and disabling all adapters to make the game faster. And I just almost don't want to say it, but idiot, because you really are idiots. Disabling this will not make your game any faster, because the game still and will always crash on 2,800 megabytes. You can be on 3,000, and then you're really stretching it. So why is it not giving you that boost that you wanted to? Because you load up the game, and the first time loading up the game always takes a longer time than the second time load up. So what people do is they load up the game completely. They think, that was pretty a long time. They go to their network, they disable those adapters, they open KSP again. Probably they saw disabling the adapters on some other video on some other program, I don't know, but they do that, open the game, and then to their conclusion, they see that it runs faster. No shit. You probably have installed active aggressive texture management. But okay. Now, I'm going to give you the information what really speeds up your game and how you can use the fully capacity of your RAM. And I'm not kidding you. I was playing the game and I was almost maxed out on full of my RAM. I was on 7,200 something, and my RAM is only 8 gig. So, how do I do that? Well, first of all, if you go to your game data, let's do that quick. If you go to the game, this is then my KSP game. And again, you can see here a Unity player except the KSP launcher. This is the 32-bit 1.0.4 version of KSP that is only available in 32-bit. And yet again, it's 64-bit. So how do I do that? Well, I downloaded something very nice that's called, I don't know, document export, but in there you have these two files and you have to replace them just by dragging and putting them in there. I'm not going to do that because I already done that. Well, doesn't really matter anyhow. So, replace the files. There we go. Now you see here, it's still the same, and it does still the same. But what it does is, this launcher with this mono.dll is a 64-bit and not a 32. So when you start the game with this icon, it fools the game being a 64-bit while it's still a 32-bit. And it runs pretty good. The only downside to it, not every mod that is compatible with 64-bit will work. Some mods will work. At the first time you see it, it looks like they don't. But if you then go play, you notice they do. I'm going to explain later in the game, later in this video, what mods until now I found out do work for the 64 full, for 32-bit to 64-bit full version. Other than that, CCon is very important to have. A lot of you do say like, don't use CCon, I just install it manually. Well, then you install it manually. I don't give a shit. But if you do install it manually, you come to a fact that some mods do not work together. CCon can recognize that. And by dragging and copying it and just paste it in there, it doesn't. So I'm going to show you guys how to get your game into 64-bit while running a 32-bit and have max capacity of your RAM and have as many mods available for you as possible to enjoy the game without the stupid crashes every time when you're like flying up to the moon or to Eve and you're just like making a landing and you're almost there and then out of memory. So let's get on to that. So we loaded now up the game, and as you can see, my planet looks a little bit distorted, and that is normal because I done something with it. And if you do the same thing like I did, then you will have the same thing also. But this is just a menu, and I really do not care. But the most wonderful thing is, what I actually wanted to show you guys right now, is this. I am running a 3,420, it was just 36, but 3,400 something MB, and my game is not crashing. My game is not crashing. Normally your game would now be crashing because you have already gone over the maximum of 3,000 megabytes. And as I said, 2,800 would be a that would be a maximum for the 32-bit. And as you can see, there's no indication here of being it a 32-bit, because if it was a 32-bit, you would see here between dashes 32-bit, and it's not, because it's a 64-bit. But if you look here, and it's not really that visible, but if you look here, you can see I'm running version 1.0.4.861. So I'm running one of the newest versions that is not compatible with what they did not release for 64-bit, and yet again I'm running it 64-bit. So if I would start the game, and I would, well, let's make a sandbox for now. Do I already have one? Yeah, I have one. Now let's open it. And keep in mind, this will go up eventually. This will even go to the 4,000 MB and 5,000 MB, even though I probably will not get it right now because I'm also recording and it's taking some memory too. Now come here. Okay, that was a really fun way to see my base for a moment. But you see a lot of clouds. So why does my planet first of all look distorted? Because I installed astronomist cloud pack with the environment mod together, but I had just not that many clouds. I had one cloud layer and that's it, and I didn't want that. So what I did was I took the upper cloud layer from astronomist and put it over environment, and this gave me a second layer. The only thing is, together with scatter that makes everything a little scattered, it really makes planet Kerbal a little bit more scattered. But as you can see, I have a lot of clouds, and I have the auroras, I have thunders, I have wind, I have dust, and I have everything like that installed, and still it's running perfectly normal. And yeah, you can see here I have the normal, no, this is not the normal moon texture, but this is KSP moon texture, only a little bit better as it was. As you can see, there's a shine around it, and this is the dust. As I said in the beginning of the game, I like the real Kerbal solar system, the real solar system. I have not installed that because it has some problems on a 64-bit. Problems, you should say it's not that much of a problem, but yet again, I not really like it. The problem is when you take off and you're not fully reaching orbit, this whole planet starts dimming and coming back, dimming, coming back, dimming, coming back. It's just like flickering the whole time. And I don't like that. I don't need that many mods. I want just the mods that are necessary, but I want it to be as realistic as possible. And yet again, if you're trying to make it realistic, you're gonna eat a lot of your RAM, because all these clouds, everything like this, now it looks just like a 2D layer. But if you're actually flying an aircraft, it's going to be a volumetric, and it's gonna need to be rendered, and it's gonna take a lot of your process capability. So now let's take a craft for a moment and launch it, and let's see how it does. So now we're at the launch pad. I just quickly build a vehicle that we can show you guys how it all works, of how it looks in 64-bit with everything I have installed right now. As you can see already, I have launch control here. A lot of people that like to use launch countdowns, it works for 64-bit. The only thing I do have to say, if you start the game and you're using it the first time and you say go now, go fly, then you're not hearing anything, but you see the text at the top. The only thing you have to do is go into settings, just do this once, just put it on Kerbalish and then to Apollo, and go back out of it. Now the next time you hit and then you hear the sounds. This will only work, by the way, if you have it inside those things right here. I'm just forgot the name. But okay, as you can also see, I have MaxJet installed, and here I have my MaxJet. You can see I have Scatter installed, Planet Shine, this is stage recovery, so it recovers the parts if I would attach a parachute to it. We have the CT simulation right now, because this is giving a real build time, so it's not that you just hit launch and you launch as many rockets as you can. You have time that you have to let pass before you can launch a rocket, or before it's built, or before text has been researched and things like that. We have the waypoint manager, what is very nice to have if you do contracts that you have to bring people to a certain point. And we have also the distance and distance objects enchantment. So we have all that running right now together with all the environment packages and some more things. So now just let's take this one off. I will take this one off. We're going up and just up, and let's see how it does.
Power transfer is complete. We're on internal power with the launch vehicle at this time. 30 seconds and counting. Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds. 20 seconds and counting. All the second stage tanks now pressurized. 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5,
Here we go, guys.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Now, we're going up, and we're going up pretty fast. We're going to hit the clouds, what normally is a bugger for this game. And we're going through the clouds at ease, no problem. We just left the first layer of clouds. We're heading for the second layer of clouds, was a little thicker. We actually left the second layer of clouds with at ease, no problem. We're going into our second stage. We're just going to get up, because I really do not want to get into an orbit and things like that right now. So we're just getting up and giving more and more power to my aircraft. And there we go. The first layer of clouds now goes into 2D, so everything goes more smoother than it already was. And still, guys, my RAM goes wild. It's now an 81%. So we're going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. And you can see here and how faster we go up, the smoother it gets. And that's just wonderful, because I tried to do this on a 32-bit and it crashed. With all this, clouds and thunder and things like that. It crashed. So, you know what, let's just give it a program. So we get a little bit of that orbit. This is still the normal solar system of the default solar system of KSP itself. I recommend using it because all the other solar systems, you have the outer solar systems, you have Planet Factory, you have the real solar system, you have some more. You have the outer asteroids, by the way. You have expansions to make the normal Kerbal solar system expanding a little bit, based on Mercury and Venus, things like that, but still not the real solar system. Why I having the KSP solar system itself? It has a reason. Because it is the least amount of impact for your... I'm just gonna turn this off for a moment, mute. And it's giving you the least amount of impact for what you have spend in this game. I mean, if you install real solar system, it's just completely redefining how everything looks. You get different planets, you get real Earth, you get real Moon, you get everything that's real, and it's fun, definitely fun, but it is an impact on your RAM. So if you like to play Kerbal without crashing, I definitely do not recommend using real solar system. At least not in a 64-bit version, because that is awful. And in a 32-bit version, you can have real solar system, but then I would say is pick your mods wisely, because if you install more than 10 mods, you are already running into trouble. And you really, if you want to make this game fun and with all kind of capacities, with all kind of things you can do without making batch files, without starting up the game hundreds of times for different stages and things you do in this game. I have all that together, and as you can see right now, I am just running on 2065 megabytes on the system and 748 megabytes on the KSP game itself. So my system takes a lot over. So my game doesn't crash. So my game right now is running in 708 megabytes. I'm not kidding, because you can see that here. This is taken over by the system, so this will not crash your game. This, by the other hand, does. But it's just 700, 400, 784. I'm saying it wrong every time. So this is actually pretty good. And this is how you speed up the game. And I'm saying speed up because you cannot actually speed up the game, but this is how you have more RAM and not make it crash, so you can do the heck what you want to do. So if I just like give it a Earth, come back, come back, come back, come back. No, it's not coming back at all, because I'm just having too much speed. So if I'm now going to look at my map quick. Oh, I said map. This is the orbit I have. I can actually, if I wait a few times, because I have no fuel anymore, maybe I have a little possibility of going to Eve. No, not really. Okay, too bad. But if we look at Eve for a moment, just go, let's look at Eve. Wow. Also, thunders on Eve. Also, clouds on Eve. And we have Cruel. Cruel! Looks nice, ain't it? And we have Duna. Duna, I thought Duna has clouds too. There we go. Clouds and thunder and dust on Duna. And Duna has now an atmosphere. So, this is just how I play the game. This is how I like to do it, because this gives me more realistic feeling of playing the game. Jewel has something too, because you have clouds for Jewel. Set as target. No. Focus view. Let's look at this. Auroras for Jewel and clouds and everything is running smooth. Well, smooth. If you want to have it run as smooth as Call of Duty and Battlefield, forget it. It still lags sometimes. If you go to your map, it can take sometimes a few seconds before you go to it, but you don't crash, and that is the most wonderful thing in Kerbal. What you want, right? You don't want to crash, so you can play. And the developers saying, like, we're not gonna release a 64-bit anymore after 0.9 because out of our tests, what we done, it's not really giving us any benefits. I don't know what kind of idiots they are, because I am not a scripter, I'm not a programmer, and yet again, I'm running it on 64-bit, and yet again, I am not crashing, and yet again, I have all these things running without any problem. So I don't know what those guys doing wrong, or what I'm doing right, but should we just talk about it? I mean, 64-bit is way better than 32-bit, in my opinion. So now we just saw this for a moment. Let's go back to my home screen and show you guys what I have installed and how you need to do it. So back on my home screen. Now how we are gonna do that. First of all, if you saw the first part of the video and you think like, you are a fool, because I have a different net it's running for me too. And well, congratulations, you got it. It doesn't matter that this way I'm gonna discuss right now is wrong. I've been testing this game for over 2 weeks, maybe reinstalled it over 200 times just to find the right combination of mods together to have it running in 32-bit, and then I couldn't get it. As soon as I install anything that has something to do with the environment, it started crashing. So I wanted to get it into 64-bit, but as everybody was saying on tutorials I followed, it's impossible, and they all come with weird things that you have to do that I didn't, and yet again I got it. So how we are gonna do it? So if we just going to start clean, just start clean for a moment. We going to, this is the clean game, and yes guys, this is not the official game. This is just downloaded. This is not through Steam. So you can download it on the internet. I'm not gonna tell you where or how. You can find it everywhere. So I'm going to just make a new map on this right moment. I'm going to just call this test. We'll go into it. I'm gonna copy it all in there. This is gonna take me a little bit, so I'll see you guys when it's done. So now it's done, the whole game in here, and this is default. This is the 1.04 and then what was it, 861 or something like that. And this is just default. This is the 32-bit. So if I would start it now, it would start at 32-bit. If you guys don't believe it, let's just show it you guys for a moment. No. I want just a shortcut. Good. Now we go to properties, and this is what I always do. I don't know if you guys like to do that, but mine is pop up window. This will make it look like it's full screen, but yet again it's not. So if I would start it now, it would start in a little screen, I think. I hope. This will jump away in just a second. Yep, there we go. And now it comes up back again. Come on. Don't be shy. This always takes a little bit. There we go. Now you can see there's no border around it. And if you actually want to close it, you have to go to your task manager and hit add task. But you can see here it's the 32-bit version of the game. And yeah, this is default. So let's wait for this just a little bit. Yeah, I don't want. Wow, music. Sorry for that. Now I had to turn the music down. But now we have the 32-bit version. Nothing special, nothing at all. We're gonna close this because this is something we're gonna leave behind. This is history. Now I'm gonna take that document export map that I downloaded somewhere. I cannot even remember where I downloaded it, but I will upload it and give a link in the video so you guys can have it. But yet again, please do remind that this only works on version 1.0. I think it also works on 1.0, but just to make no mistakes, 1.04 and higher. So everything lower, it won't work. It will still crash, or it will just give you an error while trying to start the game. So as I showed in the beginning, we're just gonna drag it in there. We're gonna replace those files, files replaced, and now if we start the game with that KSP launcher here, we're starting it again. Now you see I do have that bar here because I forgot to put pop-up window in there, but I guess I don't have to explain it every time. It loads, and it loads in 64-bit. The next time when you will load it, you will see that little cat, that meow cat that farts rainbows going below this, and then it will also say that the version of the game causes crashes into some mods and blah 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 blah, what is actually bullshit, because it doesn't cause crashes in the mod itself, but the combination of mods you're using can cause crashes, and that's not really game related. It's mod related. So now we have the game default in 64-bit. The first thing you want to do is you want to open ccan. Oh, that's the problem, by the way, with 64-bit. If you start it at once, your right and left mouse button switches around. So what is your left mouse button becomes your right, and the other way around. So what you want to do is just right click somewhere, and then your left click is normal again. But we're gonna open ccan for a moment. And now it's just important that we go into the game data. You can see that we only have squads here, but that's gonna change real soon. Now ccan, open up, and as you can see, as I say here, I'll install 30. Oh wait, of course. Open KSP directory. Where is no. I want to select the KSP install. I want to add a new one, and I'm going to where I have installed my KSP. So I'm going to my games, going to KSP, I'm going to test, and test is what I'm going to use right now. So highlight tests, and there we are. I'm going to refresh that one more time. And do you want to manually refresh? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Okay, and now you see we have 0 installed. The first thing you want to do, what you want to install, is active texture management. Do not use basic, guys, because it is only doing it very basic. The compression to DXT1 and DXT5 is just so basic, it fairly doesn't give any changes. So I would recommend install the aggressive one. So we apply the changes, and now you will notice that we have active aggressive texture management in here. Now if you play this game a lot like me, like I do, one thing I do have to say is it takes a long time the first time to load up, because it needs to patch everything, it needs to compress, it takes some time. So what I'm going to do now to shorten that time, I'm going to take the texture case from this one, and I'm going to put it in here. So all that data that needs to be compressed doesn't need to be compressed anymore, because it's already in there. And it doesn't matter if you have 100 mods compressed and not installed, and still having it in the texture case. As long as you do not have it in here, it's not loaded. So you can have hundreds and hundreds of texture cases right here, and it does not inflict the game. So what I like to do now normally is start up the game and let it compress, let it do its thing, and close the game, install the next one. So, but I'm gonna do that, but it takes some time. So, well, actually this one doesn't take that much of time. So what I'm gonna do quickly is go into that shortcut again. Go into properties. Now it has. Wait, this is the old shortcut. Now make a new shortcut, because the old one was still the old one. Now, and we're going to do again the minus pop up window. I have something else too, what I like to use, and that is here settings. I actually have here the KSP settings, my own settings, and the recommend settings. What this do is when you open the game, you would have the low, medium, high quality. But if I put this file in here and I replace it, it actually turns my game. So if I open it now, wait, come here. There you go. If I open it now, it will open the game still the same, 64-bit. Of course, this is that was the history of how I opened it the last time, but now it will go full screen. And the first time, as I said, it looks pretty funny, but it's now compressing, well, it shouldn't be compressing the files right now because it's already compressed, because I copied it from the other game. Otherwise, it would be hanging here and here and here, and then your CPU goes up to 100% for a while, and then, yeah, you can guess it takes you 5 to 10 minutes to load up the game, depending on how much mods you have installed. But if I go to my settings right now, you can see that my graphics are on high V2. This is the visual, I follow the visual enhancement package. I will put a link inside the video, inside the description, but it changes your complete view. Everything becomes better. Well, it is actually standing on, I thought 60 frames. It's standing on 4 anti-aliasing. It's standing something like beautiful and low and things like that. So what I do is I just drag everything up to its maximum because I like everything on its maximum. You can see this is not full screen, and yeah, it looks like full screen. That is because of the pop-up window. But now I actually can take something from my other screen and show you guys without any problem. And I do not run the game in full screen because that also means it eats a little bit more of your frame rate, making your game running a little slower. So as you see now, I have everything on its highest capabilities. Now let's go cancel that, and of course Alt F4 because you're going back on what we were doing. So we have Seacon still here. The next thing you can install is the Astronomist pack. If you would install the Astronomist pack, I would suggest to first install Environment. The Environment, and I like the high resolution. So you do that, and wait a second. Yes, this missed out. Do the Astronomist pack first, because if you do Environment first, you cannot install Astronomer again anymore. And if you want to install Astronomist pack, you need to install the Environment. So we're going to take the high clouds. Now you can see that I cannot apply it anymore. That is because I was trying to install the environment. So let me fix that quick. And if you actually want to fix that, you go to your game settings, you go to Ccan, and you just delete those two files. That's it. You open Ccan again, we'll ask you which game, select, you want to check for updates, not now. Now it's updating repository. You can see I've installed 0, but I have still installed texture, aggressive thing management, but it's not recognizing it. Doesn't matter. Now we go into Astronomist pack, and we want to install the clouds with high definition. So we do that. We install the clouds with high definition. It needs to download that, and that is very annoying because everything in there I have downloaded. So this is gonna take a lot of time, and I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna skip this whole Ccan. I'm just letting you show what I have installed on the other game, and I'll tell you how you need to install it. So I have this test right here, but this is the game I actually use. And if I go to game data, this is what I have installed right now. So I have the active aggressive texture management. I have the Asclepius, what is an extra planet inside your solar system. It's just giving you one planet with a moon or an asteroid or something like that, but it gives you a planet that looks very funny, actually. Now I gotta say that looks funny. The boulder encode comes together with the clouds, and you can see here those are the cloud layers, the dust, the clouds for even jewel, the auroras, the snow, I forgot to say that, the lightning, a better atmosphere, the surface glow, and then you have this cloud layers. If you just install the high definition clouds of environment, the environment texture mod, you get only the cloud layers. You get this, and this all you don't. So you install the astronomist pack, and then you install automatically also the environment pack. You get this all, but still you do not have the cloud layers that you want to have. So what I did was I took the cloud layers from the high resolution visual enhancements pack, and I just copied over this one, and I deleted the old file. What gave me those two separate layers of clouds, but it does indeed make your Kerbal planet a little bit fuzzy when you look at it from outer space. It's just a little side effect, you could say. I got that with city lights. City lights are wonderful. Normally they are bugged, but as I install it, the way I install it, just what I said. First the environment extreme, then take that cloud file out. So you have the environmental visual enchantments. That's how it actually is called. And it will install the boulder code clouds. Then just save this file, uninstall environment visual enhancements, and completely start over new. Then install the astronomist pack, and then you automatically install the environment visual enhancements, and then you copy over the cloud layer file, and that's giving you the two cloud layers that I have. The chatter I have installed. I have the distance object installed. The endurance mod, what isn't pretty dang nice mod. It's giving you actually a space station. It's a ring with all compartments on it. It's pretty dang nice, neat mod to have. Of course, we already talked about this one. We have the IXS that gives you. I really love this one, guys, because it gives you a ship and rings. Basically it gives you a ship and all the parts. And what I like about it is that ring that it gives you the ability to warp yourself, so you go faster than speed of light. You the Kerbal construction time, so not everything goes as fast as you want to go. And definitely fun about this one, because if you have, let's say, a space mission that went wrong, and now your Kerbal is just flying out there, no fuel to have a return, and you actually have to fire up a new rocket to save him, you still are abundant to time. So if you have, for example, also a mod installed that makes waste and like the real overhaul system, then it could just be that before you actually made that aircraft and it's on launch pad and able to launch, yeah, Bill Kerman already died. Yeah. As you can see here, I have the Copernicus. This is what the Copernicus system is an expansion on your Kerbal system. And as I said before, I do not really have expansions right now, but because I have this one different planet, I need to have this. So it installs it automatically with CCAN. So this belongs to that. The launch countdown, the Mac Jab, the planet shine, precision note, precise note actually. This will give you an error in the beginning that it's not compatible with the game. Ignore it because it is. The squads, of course, normally, default. Stage recovery, trajectories, and tweak scale. Oh yeah, and waypoint manager. And of course, very important, otherwise everything won't work, and that's the module manager. I forgot to say that, but for the active texture management and then loading up the game, you do not need the module manager yet. But if you're gonna install the visual enhancement packages and all these other mods, you're gonna need it, because as you can see, it makes case files, and it makes a case file for Pacifics and the tech tree. And the Pacifics are definitely the most important one, because this tells you about how fast you need to go into orbit, how high your how you say it, how high your and now I lost the name. Your, god damn it, atmosphere. There we go. How high your atmosphere should start and things like that. The burning up and things like that. Now, what I found out that doesn't work. Now, here we go. Real solar system, it works, but it has some buggy things if you want to use it on a 64-bit. What doesn't work is the real fuel. So you cannot use real fuel. It doesn't show up, it doesn't work at all. It shows up, but you cannot change the fuel. Real parachutes does not work on a 64-bit. What does work is the hot and the cool engines, and I especially like the cool engines because then you see that cool fluid coming from your engines before you even start your engines while launching. So I really like that, the cool engines. And then hot rocket is really fun and works. The KW rocketry works. And I got some extra mods in here. You have the ZG27 synthesizer, what is actually filtering the gas out of the space and converting it into raw rocket fuel. So over time, your rocket fills up with fuel, and then you can spin it again for another round until your rocket is empty, and then you have to turn this on again to fill your fuel again. It takes a lot of energy, so if you want to use it, you gotta need a lot of solar panels. It says it has to be it is only compatible with 0.9. It is compatible with the 1.04, but I have to say you can only attach it at one point. So the other attachment green bubble you see at the other side, there is nothing you can attach on it. It's just not working. So it has some bugs, but it works. And if you find a neat design where you have one rocket in the middle and then like 3 or 4 fuel tanks in a circle with all the synthesizer on it, then you can actually use the fuel lines and pump the fuel over to your main rocket and fill your rocket like that. So it is possible to use it. Tweak scale, tweak scale, tweak scale, tweak scale. Now we had already set up. It's working. The RS sounds. I thought it was working. I'm not really sure. I just came back from a vacation. It's not really. It did not really stick into my mind, but I thought it was working. Planet Shine is working, but don't install it through CCAN. Just go to the website and install the unofficial one because it's working better. MacJap. I would also recommend not installing this through CCAN, but just go to the website and download the latest one. The launch countdown, you will not find it even in CCAN, but you can download it from the website. CCAN, by the way, is a very nice program, but it will not find everything. It will recognize everything, but it will not find it. The Kerbal scale space 300. This one actually makes it, I thought it bigger. I thought it was, oh no. This gave us a different layout. It has to go into the texture replacement manager. It's pretty nice. We have the casa. That's what I said. This is give you the warp thingy. This is what I really like. The purple haze skybox. This gives you a complete new sky. But as you can see, I have no texture replacement thing in here right now. Why? Because it really fucks up your RAM. So even in the 64-bit, it gives some problems if you add in things too much. We have the, well, this is what I really like, the hangar extender. So you can build now aircrafts as high as you want, not that you are restricted to a certain kind of height. the endurance space exploration system. This is that giving you that space station thingy that you can dock into and everything. Pretty nice, pretty neat to have that running around Kerbal. This is what makes your game into a 64-bit, and the astronomist performance. There we go. This is what I was saying about settings. This is actually the setting that I was using, and I changed it to what I like. So this is not maxed out on max graphics yet. I maxed it out on max graphic and then copied my own settings and stored it. So you can use that, and I'll upload that one so you can download it. With a lot of props to the maker of this one, because I really love it, what he did, and he really made my game way better as it was before. So that is our mods that these mods I do not install through CCAN. I install just by opening it and pasting it into the game data, because CCAN or won't find it. MacJap and everything it will find, but it will install some other part of MacJap, and it's not really working on every part, and it's not working that well. So these mods I would say install by hand, the other I would say install by CCAN. So if I now install open CCAN for one more time and I open my normal game, I'm gonna let you see what I have all installed and what is all working for me right now. So I have the KSP-AVC. This is the add-on version checker, and this will also give CCON an update when there is a new update available. The active texture management aggressive, I always only would say take aggressive. I have the astronomer pack clouds high resolution, something that astronomer itself say do not use. It can crash a game. Use medium. I use high. I am just that stubborn. It took me also 2 weeks to find out how to actually get it to work. It is a pain in the ass, but I got it to work, as you guys already saw, and it looks beautiful. The distance object enhancements, the planet shine configuration, this is all from Astronomist. By the way, this does not all come together. If you just do the clouds, you just get this, and you get this. This all, and this. And this all in the middle you don't. So there's like options you can install after that. The surface goes slow, sandstorm and sand dust, lightning in the clouds, and for even jewel, the auroras. And I use the auroras 4K and not the 8K, because the 8K does indeed eat up your frames and make your game laggy. And are just auroras. I mean, you only see them for if you're on the planet and if you're close to the planet, but if you're far away you don't see them anymore, but they are still rendered, so 4K is just enough. The clouds and jewels for even jewel 4K also. I would say just the clouds are fun to have on high, but don't try to max out on everything. The lightning, the storms and sand, snow, surface glow, that's all what it's working. I have then the Copernicus planetary system modifier. That is why we had that Copernicus, because I have this Asclepius, clouds, how you call it, I don't know, but it's a Copernicus planet playground. This will automatically install when you search for, if you type in clouds, by the way, just type in clouds, cloud, then you will find them here. So I'm going back to what I've installed. I have installed Chatter. I have installed the normal distant object enhancements. I don't know why the game actually did that, but it's installed. This is installed together with this, and it's working. Oh, this is just a config for this. I didn't saw that because it was just like this just a moment ago. But distance, yeah, the fire spitter, and I got the Kerbal construction time, MacJap. As you see here, it's auto detected, but it's not installed by CCAN itself. The planet shine, stage recovery, trajectories, waypoint manager, and I have here the Flonix Electronics launch countdown, and I got the APIE extensions. What is an extension on Kerbal thing? It's a package contains a bunch of utilities methods for general use to modders. Yeah, as I said, I'm not a modder, but it gives you some parts, but it gives you also some abilities. Not really using that. But this is all what I have installed, and as I already showed you guys, on a 64-bit, on a version that is not compatible with 64-bit, and it's running smooth and without any crashes, guys. So this is how people actually fly their spacecraft around, and people just like admire the videos, and they're like, how can they have all that? And I cannot even have 10% of that, and my game is crashing already. We have the same game. It doesn't matter how good your computer is, because I'm honest, guys, this computer is 8 years old, maybe 9, if I say it right. I was 18 when I bought this computer. I'm not 25, so this computer is pretty darn old. And if I go to my system properties, oh, install RAM, 6 gig, not 8. I thought 8, but it's 6. So making it actually better, worse for me, but better for the explanation that this is not right. By the way, I should have 8. Because my game already got to 7 gigs. Maybe because I got Windows 10 correct. Don't tell it to everyone. But okay. Yeah. I mean, this is how you do it, guys. This is how you do it. There's nothing that comes extra to it. The only thing, if you want to just make this video short and to a conclusion, this will make you smile, because this is all what it's all about. This will make your game 64-bit, and this is what I will upload and put a link down in the description, so you can just click on it, download it, drag and release, replace the files, and I want to see big smiles on your face when you launch your rocket. And when you launch your rocket and you hit those clouds, and on a 32-bit, you're just like waiting frame by frame by frame by frame, and it just takes like 10 minutes to go to the first cloud layer, and then you don't even have the second cloud layer, so that still has to come. So you have to wait frame by frame by frame until you have a certain distance of the planet before you actually go a little bit smoother again. I mean I had that problem for a long time. I guess a lot of you guys have the same problem, and I just could not bear the fact that I could not play the game as I want to, and it doesn't look like I want to. So I have been trying to figure this out for more than 2 weeks. I installed this game, as I said before, more than 200 times with multiple combinations. I had the real solar system installed, guys, so don't try to think you're better than me or you're better than the game, because the game is the same. It doesn't matter what kind of computer you have, and even if you have a 32-bit memory gig of RAM, it's not going to change. Well, this is going to change it, but the default game is not going to change, and eventually you're going to crash. And it took me a long time to find that out. And I found it out, and this is what I want to share with you guys, because KSP is just such a wonderful game. You start playing it, you get addicted to it, and you just like, you look at the clock, it's 11 o'clock at the evening, or 10 o'clock at the evening, and then it feels like you're an hour later, and you look at the clock, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and like, oh shit, I really need to go to bed. Let's play it for just like half an hour, and then you look at the clock again, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh shit, I really need to go to bed right now. And you don't want to, because it's just such an addictive game. And I'm just gonna bet you guys 100% by using this game is even going to be more addictive as it was. So I hope you guys had a lot of good information on this video. It is a long video, I know, but I hope it helped you guys experiencing this game in a better way as it was before. Well, yeah, if you go to if you use Steam, by the way, if you I don't like this game in Steam. I bought it on Steam, but I just don't like it. I bought it. It was 32-bit. It was crashing all the time, and I could not make any kind of update in the system because every time I done that and they came in with a new update, it overrides everything I made, every changes I made, and I had to do everything over again. I got so annoyed by it because the game itself already is not that much of, I mean, it's pretty expensive. If you go more than 40 bucks, 50 bucks, it's pretty expensive for a game that every time crashes and a game that, you know, really doesn't work as it should be. So I indeed downloaded the game, the 1.04 version from the internet, and I made sure that I had the right Unity player to make it a 64-bit. And now I finally, after wasting a lot of money and a lot of time, I have the game running as I want to. So I hope you guys had a lot of good information about this video. Please thumbs up if you actually have that big smile in your face I was hoping for. And subscribe to my channel so I will make new videos and I will help you in other kind of things. If you have any question for any kind of game, just ask me. It's cool. Just ask me. Leave a comment and I will read it and I will try to find some time to make that video for you. If you have a question, just ask me and I'll try to find some time. Because that's why I have my channel, that's why I like to do it. So I wish you guys a lot of fun playing this game. Thumbs up, rate and subscribe, and I hope to see you again till my next video. Well, astronauts, have fun until my next video. Peace.